規則正しい生活だと人は。
僭越ながら私の視界の外へ。私の視界の外へいざ落ち着いて考えます。
切り開きます。
素晴らしい戦術でした。指揮官、落ち着いて考えましょう。予想通りの攻撃ですね。私の視界の外へ行かないでください。予想通りの攻撃ですね。私の視界の外へ。
天才的なタッチ。
素晴らしい戦術でした。指揮官、私の視界の外へ。予想通りの攻撃です。
切り開きます。
私の視界の外へ行かないでください。予想通りの攻撃ですね。
自由イマジネーションに共感しなさい。
落ち着いて観察。私の視界の外へ落ち着いて考えましょう。
切り開きます。イマジネーションに共感しなさい。私たちの物語は始まったばかりよ。
予想通りの攻撃。私の視界の外へ行きます。
切り開きます。キャンバス準備完了。この色で未来を塗り替える。私たちの物語は始まったばかりよ。
私の視界の外へ落ち着いて考えましょう。
切り開きます。キャンバス準備完了。
見つけました。
この色で未来を塗り替える。私たちの物語は始まったばかりよ。
この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。準備はすでに整っている。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。この戦いを終わらせる。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。おごりない成果だ。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。命がけで恐れはしない。これこそが道を切り開く。おごりないぜ。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。準備はもう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。この戦いを終わらせる。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。準備はすでに整っている。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。準備はすでに整っている。もう死は恐れない。道を切り開く。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。おごりないぜ。もう死は恐れない。道を切り開く。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。 この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。もう死は恐れない。恐れはしない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。おごりないぜ。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。おごりないぜ。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。おごりないぜ。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。おごりないぜ。道を切り開く。準備はもう死は恐れない。この戦いを終わらせる。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。準備はもう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。命がけで行くぞ。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。おごりないせいがもう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。もう死は恐れない。命がけで行くぞ。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。準備はすでにおごりないせいがもう死は恐れない。道を切り開く。おごりないせいもう死は恐れない。命がけで行くぞ。恐れはしない。問題ない。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。おごりないせい。準備はすでにもう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。もう死は恐れない。命がけで行くぞ。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。準備はすでに整っている。もう死は恐れない。生き抜いてやる。命がけで恐れはしない。生き抜いてやる。生き抜いてやる。
敵の隙を作ります。
命がけで行くぞ。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。準備はすでに整っている。この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。 この戦場にも勝利をもたらそう。もう死は恐れない。命がけで恐れはしない。生き抜いてやる。道を切り開く。準備はすでに整っている。もう死は恐れない。命がけで道を切り開く。準備はすでに整っている。もう死は恐れない。この場生き抜いてやる。
君の勝利のために全力を尽くします。
Clover.
Hey, what's up? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I got God Hand running at 120 FPS, which fixes the problem with this game. Is it runs like crap on real hardware. This game desperately needs a remaster. I don't know what the hell Capcom's doing. I bought this game twice. Masterpiece. They're too busy making 1,000 Resident Evil games. Yeah, the version of Monster Hunter that doesn't run well. What a great pedigree for future titles.
Nervous?
I'm so tired of Resident Evil, man. I'm tired of that franchise. Give something else some love, please. Tired of Resident Evil, man.
Wow.
Well, the last Breath of Fire game was a gacha that lasted like 6 months.
Wow.
It's always a sign that they really care about that franchise. They make a gacha game and it doesn't even like last a year. doesn't instill me with a lot of hope that there's passion for Breath of Fire, and that's your idea of a new installment. The art style was crap too. I think it looked like a Flash game or something. A great way to celebrate complete buns.
Awesome.
Same thing with the Basara mobile game that was trash and was barely a video game. Their idea of celebrating a franchise. Hey, here's a mobile game where you just kind of move your finger across the touchscreen, and that's like the core of the gameplay. I don't know, man, that ain't it.
Nice, nice.
Thank you, tough guy.
That's like the bare minimum.
I love it.
thank you.
Great.
Hey, I'm not doing anything exciting. Go take care of your kid. Kid's more important than me playing random games. Take care of your kid. Doing anything groundbreaking. Been working on the channel all day, or all night. And take a break.
Wow. Great. Nice. Awesome.
No, it's not modded in any way. It's just the frame rate. That's not modding the game code. I'm using lossless scaling. Lossless scaling does not really count as a mod. I mean, it's not like I'm doing a speedrun or anything, but it doesn't affect the game code. When you try to put this game above 30 FPS, there's a mod for it that was partially finished, but it wasn't really good to play like that because it messed with the physics. The enemies would get up faster. They wouldn't launch as high. Other stuff wasn't working properly, so that mod's kind of useless. It looks good on paper, but you're kind of not playing the game. It's not going to work properly, so this is the only solution for this game currently, unless some kind of legendary modder manages to fix those problems, but the game logic is tied to the frame rate, so when you try to change the frame rate, it freaks out, and certain things stop working. This is from the era of Japanese games where they would make them on proprietary engines and then tie the game logic to the frame rate. So it really sucks. I mean, I'm sure it made it easier to make the game, but it sucks for preservation because this game is stuck at 30 FPS unless there's two options. There's either some legendary modder decides to fix those problems, which is going to be really hard because of game logic being tied to the frame rate, and then, or they do an official remaster, but who knows if they even still have the source code for this game. It's probably pretty unlikely that they still have it. So, I am just using lossless scaling to get it running at 120 FPS. Which isn't a perfect solution. People that play on mobile, people that play on Steam Deck, can't use lossless scaling, but it is the only option. A lot of the games we love growing up are programmed like this, and it's part of the reason why a lot of them don't come back. Because people understandably get pissed when, you know, the game runs at 30 FPS in 2024. which is exactly what happened with the Symphonia remaster. They don't have the source code for that game anymore. It's long gone. They've brought that game back like 3 times, and the frame rate has been worse than the GameCube one every single time. Symphonia Remastered was like also worse in other ways too. It had a lot of bugs and glitches and stuff that weren't in the other previous versions, so there's pretty much no reason to buy it. You're not getting a better frame rate with the PS2 content. You're getting the PS2 content again that they already did before, but with more bugs. So it's a complete pointless game. I think they fixed most of the problems, but I think they just can't. They're gonna have to like remake that game at some point. Full-on remake. That's what they're gonna have to do with that game. Well, for Symphonia, yeah, the source code is long gone. Source code has been gone for a really long time. Yeah, they had to remake Panzer Dragoon from scratch. You'd be surprised how many legendary Japanese games they've been very negligent with keeping them preserved. Which is why they've brought back Symphonia like 3 times, and frame rate wise, they're all worse than the GameCube one that came out 20 years ago. It's just a complete disaster. I think they know that this game is kind of a cult classic, but it's a matter of they probably don't bring it back because they don't know how to fix the frame rate. That was the problem with the Kingdom Hearts games when they brought those back. There was a lot of weird inconsistencies and jank and stuff that was strictly because they tried to double the frame rate. And like even when that game came out, it still had those problems, and it took them like several patches to fix it. Now it's the best way to play the game outside of the mods like Nobody May Cry and stuff, but I think there's people at Capcom just like, is this game really worth it? You're probably like, we don't really know if this game is worth it. How many people are actually going to buy this? It's not an easy thing to bring back like a Mario game or something. You know, they can keep reselling like Mario 3 and stuff forever because the game already ran at 60 FPS. They can just put that in an emulator, but something like this is way harder to bring back. I wish they would do it, but honestly, with lossless scaling, I don't really know if it needs to come back. If they actually do a good job on it and don't ruin it, I could see it, but also with this game, it's like the subject matter, the humor, I don't know if it's gonna fly in the modern era. I think this game is hilarious, and it doesn't take itself seriously, but I don't know. There's a lot of things in this game I could see them censoring as well. And I don't really care about censorship that much, because mostly it's just, you know, people want more boobs and stuff, and I'm like, you know, there's other places to find that. I don't care if they take that out to, like, maintain a T rating on a game or something, but if you start censoring the humor in this game, it's going to lose a lot of its charm. And I haven't really heard too many people talk about this, but there was a Reddit post about this. Like, yeah, they probably would have to change some of the subject matter because people are offended by everything, and they can't look at something as a product of its time instead of, you know, our beliefs now are different. This game's almost 20 years old, just turned 18. I imagine the people that actually play this game a lot wouldn't mind censorship if the frame rate ran better. But it definitely is something that could happen. They could completely gut the humor in this game, and it's like a lot of the fun part of it is it's not a serious game. It's got like a couple serious moments, but it's not really, you know, it's not like a Resident Evil or something. Far more serious than, like, even DMC. Or far more less serious than DMC. I can just see the threads now of people being pissed that they censored this game if they brought it back. I'm almost certain that they would. I really don't think that they would leave it untouched. I mean, personally, the original game is always there, so as long as it didn't affect gameplay, I wouldn't mind it too much, provided that they unlock the frame rate. Because this game has really good combat, but the frame rate really holds it back. Anyone who says otherwise is lying to themselves. You can't have a game with combat this good and then have this game run the way it does. So it's a difficult thing. Numerous things preventing them from really bringing this game back. Yeah, there would be a bunch of threads about how people would be furious that they you know, neutered the humor, but like, honestly, if it fixed the frame rate, I'd be cool with it. You know, you can watch the cutscenes online, as long as it wasn't like Ninja Warriors. You know, Ninja Warriors, the censorship in that game, like, actually affected the gameplay. I really doubt that that game would be like that. I don't really think that anything they could do to it would affect the gameplay. Be just like, hey, you know, we don't want to get a bunch of angry tweets from people that didn't even fucking play the game when it came out and complaining about how offensive it is. We'll see what happens, I guess, but I don't expect this game to ever come back. Even if they left it completely untouched, they did not censor the humor or have, like, music licensing issues or anything, like, they have to get past the hurdle if the game runs like crap. This game's not even locked 30 on PS2. There's several instances where it slows down. And, like, a locked 30 is not good enough. They actually need to uncap it completely. Yeah, I just don't think anyone at Capcom cares. There's cheaper stuff that they can bring back. I don't know, I think, like, if they got, like, limited run games to, like, do a remaster for this like they did for Tumba, but do a better job than that game, because apparently that port was not great, but I did not grow up with that game, so I can't judge it for myself, but if they did something like that, I think people would buy it. This game's gotten more popular over the years because there's been so many gameplay videos of it, of people doing crazy stuff in it, and then all the people that point out, like, actual hidden gems. I don't really like a lot of the hidden gem videos on YouTube, because it's like, dude, if you're, like, interested in that kind of game at all, you already knew about it, right? But God Hand was, like, a low print run. It got the infamous terrible review from IGN. It came out, like, right before or during the PS3 launch. This was a very late PS2 game. Pretty much the main stuff that came out after this that was big was, like, you know, Persona 3 and 4. Persona 3, 4, a bunch of Musou games, if you count those, like Basara 2 came out after this game, but there really wasn't much. Everybody was kind of moving over to HD development, so a lot of people didn't get to play this game, and it hasn't really been re-released in a good way. I know that the PS3 version has a ton of input lag, so I don't know, to some people that won't matter because they didn't play the original. People complain about input lag a little bit too much. It really depends on how much you played the original. There's people that have played games in horrible underwater input lag on emulator and they don't notice the difference because that's how they grew up playing it. It's different when you go from, like, PS2 to, like, the PS3 version of this game. It definitely does have input lag. What was censored in Ninja Warriors? That game was an instance of where the censorship actually affected the gameplay. The Kunoichi, the female ninjas, they removed them from the game entirely. I guess because Nintendo of America was gonna get on their case if they didn't. So what they did is they replaced it with the balding little Wolverine midget guys. So that, like, actually affects gameplay, because not only is an entire enemy type gone, also they replaced them with the most annoying enemy in the game. So, like, if they didn't do something like that with this and they censored it, I wouldn't particularly mind that much. As long as the frame rate and, like, the frame rate was improved and the gameplay was untouched. But I don't really think this game would really have that problem. They could easily reskin some of the models they probably would have some problems with, but yeah, that doesn't get talked about that much. How much the censorship in Ninja Warriors actually affected the gameplay. One of the few times it's not just people complaining, like, you know, their bikini has more fabric on it or something. It's like, who cares, man? Go watch something if you want to get off. Like, Ninja Warriors was a rare instance of it actually did affect the gameplay, and it wasn't like the intended design to have that many Wolverine guys. But they had to replace an entire enemy type. And instead of making a new enemy or palette swapping it, they just replaced it with another sprite. They did it in the quickest and dirtiest way possible. Like, the game wasn't... enemy wave design wasn't designed with that in mind. That didn't go as planned.
Nice.
The US SNES version, yes. The censorship was undone for the remake. The remake has that enemy type brought back. Yeah, not a lot of people know that. There's not supposed to be that many balding
Nice.
Wolverine guys running around, but that was how they got around the censorship.
Nice.
But yeah, that's like a rare instance where complaining about the censorship actually makes sense, because it wasn't intended to be designed that way. They didn't do it like Poison and Roxy, where they just
Wow.
sprite swapped. They sprite swapped Poison into a male character. So like, you could tell, even as a kid, I could tell like that's a sprite edit. They didn't actually make a new enemy type, but it works better because it didn't mess with the enemy wave design. There's a big difference. People are doing that with the Dragon Quest remasters. Apparently there's like light censorship and people won't shut up about it. I'm like, man, as long as they didn't mess with the gameplay, it's just, who cares, man? It's not hard to find things to get off to. Also, those games are like 30 years old, and like censorship stuff has changed since then. With a game like that, you have to get a T rating. You can't make a game like that have an M rating. It's just not gonna work. And I'm pretty sure that's why. That's like why Dynasty Warriors games don't have blood. Dynasty Warriors had even like minor blood. I'm not talking about cutscenes, but gameplay. Instant M rating. That would prevent a lot of people from being able to play it. People don't think about that stuff. It's like, oh, the game is woke. Like, I really just think they don't want to jeopardize their sales with getting a higher rating for something that kids should be able to play. I seriously doubt this game would come back untouched, though. I really think that they would censor things. There's a lot of things in this game that people would not agree with.
Nice.
I would be shocked if this came back and it was completely uncensored. Highly unlikely with this game. Maybe like a 10% chance. This game's not going to come back untouched, if it ever does come back.
Nice.
Yes, but that was a sprite swap. Because Nintendo of America was very anal back then. I guess that's what happens when you're top of the food chain. I think a lot of developers hated putting their stuff on Nintendo, but just like how you don't put a game on Steam, it doesn't sell any copies. That's pretty much what happened.
Nice.
The devs probably got really tired of that shit. You know, Genesis was kind of just whatever. They didn't really care. They're like, yeah, if a game wasn't on Nintendo, it just didn't get as much sales. That was just the reality of it. Nintendo definitely had power over developers, whether they liked it or not. No, I think all that stuff is staying. It's like female characters showing skin or something, and I just don't understand why people care. Like, dude, does it really matter? I'm sure you could find another way to get your kink than a Dragon Quest remaster. I'm not a Dragon Quest fan at all. The only one I played was Heroes, the Muso one, but it seems like a good remaster in every other way, but people are like boycotting. I'm like, come on, get over yourselves. Like, yes, I think that they should keep the original intent of the people that made it all those years ago, but I guess with the rating system and stuff, it's a lot harder to do that. Especially with, like, games that had, like, alcohol and stuff. Like, they'll only keep that if, like, the game was, like, M-rated, I think. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff in this game I don't see them being okay with releasing untouched. But I don't really think any of it would affect gameplay. But like I said, I don't even think they know how to bring this game back if they wanted to. I really think they're clueless on how to bring back God Hand. I'm pretty sure the Symphonia remaster, maybe they were like working on it. They're like, oh, maybe we'll bring this game back at 30 FPS, but then they saw how much the internet went crazy over the Symphonia remaster being a piece of garbage. Even if you look past the fact that it's 30 FPS, it was still worse than the one that they put out 10 years ago. The same damn game. Like, that's the worst thing about the Symphonia remaster, is that due to all the bugs and stuff, it was still worse. It was worse than all the other versions. Like, there was no reason to buy it at all. I think they know that if they bring back God Hand, even if they manage to do it uncensored, that big problem is going to be, like, how do we untie the game logic from the frame rate? Because, like, with Kingdom Hearts had, they did, like, multiple patches for that. Because there were, like, there was a bunch of stuff that didn't work the way it was supposed to. Like, it wasn't worth, it wasn't, like, a perfect upgrade. It wasn't until they did, like, numerous patches. God Hand just has a lot of things going against it. The subject matter, the humor, probably won't be very well received in 2024, or whenever they do the remaster, and then also the frame rate. I think the frame rate is a bigger problem, because, like I said, I don't think there's any thing that they could censor in that game that would affect gameplay. It wouldn't be like Ninja Warriors, where, like I said earlier, they removed an entire enemy type and changed the way that the enemy waves beyond the original intention because they didn't want to make a new enemy sprite, so they just replaced them all with the Wolverine guy. I don't think a God Hand would have that problem. I think, for one thing, being unable to spank the female characters, I'm pretty sure that they would take that out. I am almost positive. They're not going to let that stay. They don't want to get a bunch of angry game journalists on them because of that. I'm like, dude, the game came out 18 years ago. I could see stuff like that going. the obviously gay bosses that you fight. I don't know how they would address that. I feel like if they made them just regular generic bosses, it would ruin the cutscenes for one, and then people would also complain that, diverse people, a diverse group like that was taken out. But that's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. I mean, in my opinion, they're portrayed as strong, right? They're not jokes. That boss fight is pretty difficult when you're first starting out. They're not portrayed as weak or anything. I personally don't see the problem, but I could definitely see trying to adjust them at all would go bad in either way. Because like either you leave them as is and people complain about the portrayal, but then you remove them and just put like a generic bald guy there, then it's basically erasing diversity. So I'm sure they've had meetings about that too. How do you address that? If you leave it untouched, people will complain. If you touch it, people will complain. It's one of those things. There's not really a solution. But yeah, like I said, they probably don't know how the hell to fix that game. They're probably genuinely stumped on how to do it. So that's why the game's not going to come back. Thing about remasters is generally you have to make them better than the original in some way because, you can just go download the old game, right? Which is precisely the problem with Symphonia Remastered, is that the old game is better in every way. Outside of missing the PS2 content, in terms of the stability and the performance, it's way better. And you can just go download that off the internet in a few minutes. It's like a 6 gigabyte file. So that's exactly why Symphonia Remastered was such a joke, because yes, they didn't uncap the frame rate. They have a reason, an excuse for not uncapping it, but the fact that it was so buggy and broken made it worse than the PS3 one. The exact same game. Nothing of any sort was added to it at all. It was the exact same game. Basically just copied and pasted it, but they did a shit job, and they made it buggy. I know for a fact the God Hand community would tear that remaster apart if they messed with the gameplay in any way, or due to uncapping the frame rate, like certain stuff didn't work. Because there already is something like that. There already is a 60 FPS mod for it that was unfinished. I featured it on the channel before, but like I said, because the game logic is tied to the frame rate, a lot of things don't work as intended, so it's actually a trash way to play the game. Like, if you can't handle 30 FPS anymore, which is pretty much the state that I'm in currently, you do not want to play with that mod on, because the game mechanics don't work properly. Yeah, maybe we'll live to see a God Hand remaster for the 20th anniversary. I just don't expect it to be a smooth transition for a number of reasons. Censorship or lack thereof. They really have no way to win there. And then also, when they uncap the frame rate, it has to be completely accurate to the original version. Alright, let's see if I feel like doing something else. Don't really have any direction this stream. Just taking a break because I've been setting up PS3 emulators and doing a bunch of other stuff. one moment. Trying to fix something here. I'm doing a little bit of tech support during my break here. But if this doesn't work, I'm gonna totally hop off. Oh, this is the wrong save. Alright, well that's not gonna help, is it? Where's my other save? Am I going to get it? Yes. Because they got an actual good team to do it. It looks great so far. That game's not my favorite Tales game by any extent. But for as much as I complain about how bad the preservation is for Tales, I kind of have to buy it, right? But they're also doing stuff, like I said, they're doing stuff that the Ramen emulator can't do. Like they've unlocked the frame rate to 120 FPS. You can use the grade shop while you're on your first playthrough. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's worth buying. Especially as somebody who's not going to be speedrunning it, just playing it casually. I think I'll be very happy with it. I mean, you can really tell that they got somebody who's not going to fuck it up. Because how bad the Symphonia remaster was actually extended well past the Tales fandom. Because, like most niche games, it sold the most on Switch, and the Switch version was horrible. It was worse than just, like, probably putting the GameCube emulator and the old ROM on your Switch. It was worse in every way. I think they know that they can't do that again. Like, it's mind-boggling how bad that remaster was. Like, even if you're okay with 30 FPS, which some people were, not everybody really cares about frame rate that much, but, like, how unstable it was and broken, and had problems that the original versions didn't have. Even the first time that they gave us the PS2 stuff, which was 10 years ago, like, you can't look past that. Like, come on, you have to do a better job than that. Like, if I could just go download the ROM and just have the game running in like 10 minutes and not have any of those issues, then why should I spend $40 on a remaster? I mean, just come on. That's like the bare minimum. So that's not going to happen with this new one. It's probably going to have some, like, bugs and stuff they'll have to fix, but I don't think it will be anywhere near as bad as a Symphonia remaster, which took like multiple patches to even be remotely worth buying. But we'll see. We shall see. It's the fact that they're actually like doing polish to the game, which is really cool. As you know, like a Steam Deck can run the entire Tales series if you're willing to dabble in emulation. You can run the entire series on there, so I think they're realizing it needs to be a lot better than it is currently. Yeah, their idea of doing Tales of Symphonia justice is outsourcing it to a Romanian studio that doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah, I feel like everybody needs a chance, a shot, you know, to get started in the industry, but why did you give them such an important game for so many people? I mean, that was like, for Nintendo fans, that was like one of the first JRPGs that a lot of people played. You know, people that only had Nintendo in their house. You know? Nintendo people didn't get Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, none of those games. And all those games are out at the time that Symphonia released. It was an important game for a lot of people. I don't know why they thought, let's give it to our Romanian studio and then like not actually supervise to make sure that they're doing it right and not making an old game worse. But that's not what happened. They legit did just do a worse job. They made something that was already a downgrade from the GameCube version even worse. And then they're like surprised Pikachu when people were pissed. I'm like, yeah, you know, not everybody's a frame rate counter. Not everybody's super into that. Some people don't even notice. But like, having all the crashes and shit is unacceptable. How do you expect people to spend $40 on that? A phone can run Symphonia GameCube. A phone can do it. That's your competition, a phone. A phone can run that game. A mid-range, like, budget phone that's like $100 now can run that game just fine. So, the fact that they couldn't even make a better experience than that is just embarrassing. Like, come on now. That's what I'm saying. The PS2 version of Symphonia didn't have those problems. The main problem was just the frame rate got cut in half, but it wasn't like crashing all the time. Same thing with the PS3 one. Oh well. Grace's remaster looks a lot better, so I'm hoping that that's a sign of things to come, that they will keep getting the right outsourcing to do it instead of going for the cheapest bidder. Maybe the Romanian studio didn't have any other games they were working on, so they got them on that. And I'm like, yeah, in retrospect, that was a really bad idea. I mean, there were a lot of people that just bought that game because it was an RPG on the Switch, and is horrible port. I remember it. I remember people making comparison videos of how messed up everything was. That's when you know it's bad, when, that's how you know it's bad, when, like, outside of the Tales fandom, people are still pissed off. Just an embarrassment. Imagine if they did that with, like, Final Fantasy VII. They brought back, like, the original version again and then, like, screwed it up. That game already runs like garbage, so I think that would be a lot harder to screw up, but just think about that for a second. How angry people would be. It's pretty much what already happened with the remake. Because the remake PC port is terrible and they put no effort into it at all. The remake PC port really only got fixed by just upgrading your computer, but you needed a way better computer than it should require. The game ran on PS4. They never even fixed the FF7 remake port. They didn't do like a single patch for it. For such an important game for them that they wanted to sell like 50 million copies. They had no care for it at all when they were making it. It's like, yeah, here's the PC port. We put like 10 minutes of work into it. Here, go pay us $70. It was $70, by the way. FF7 Remake was $70. Even though PC got it way later. They still made us pay full price.
こんなもんだよ。
なんか
しかし元同僚をボコボコね。
何か事情がありそうだけど。はいはい。
Yeah, what I've seen of the Graces remaster looks like it's going to make a lot of people happy. I really don't like the gameplay in that game that much. The accuracy stat and the grinding for titles and stuff, I didn't really care for. But I also never played the future arc, so maybe I'll like it more. But yeah, they're doing a lot of polish to it. It's not just a ROM dump. It's actually going to be probably the best way to play the game. I don't know if it will be for speed runs or challenge runs. I'm going to assume it will be, but people that played it a lot more than me will be able to dissect that stuff. But yeah, it seems like they're putting proper care into it, and they're getting a studio that can actually do it right. As I think they know that if they're planning to bring back a lot of the games that people want, then they can't have them be complete disasters like Symphonia. A lot of people were just mad. A lot of people didn't even grow up playing that game, and they were still mad at the remaster because it was so broken. And I'm like, yeah, you bought a $40 RPG, it should just work, right? Especially when it's 20 years old. That's what gives it even less leeway. If it was like a modern game, you would some level of brokenness and bugs and stuff would be expected, but like they couldn't even make it worth buying, despite how old it was. They still made it worse. And that's just completely insane to me. I don't know how you take a beloved project like that and make it worse. Like, that Romanian studio might have gotten it out quick, but they didn't do a good job. And unlike a lot of other broken games like Dragon's Dogma 2, they don't have that much leeway. Dragon's Dogma 2 sold so many copies and barely functions. Like, Symphonia is a niche RPG, man. Like, come on. People expect more stability when something is 20 years old. I think that's to be expected. Bring back an old-ass game. Like, it should be better than the old version, right? Not worse in every way. Especially if you're going to charge $40 for something you can just go download online with, like, minimal technical knowledge. Literally just type into Google and you can find it. You expect people to pay $40 for something that's not like that? I feel like remasters are just going to get better from here on out because a phone can emulate so many games that used to be impossible to play on portable, but now just like a phone can do it. So they have a lot of pressure. I imagine the FF7 Rebirth port might actually be good, because the FF16 port is pretty good, but you can also tell the engine is a piece of trash because the frame rate is really bad in places it shouldn't be, like town. But it was a pretty good port. It was a lot better than the FF7 remake port, which felt like an afterthought. A cheap cash-in instead of like actually trying to make something worth buying. We'll see.
意志なき風にことは運べると知り候。
反省だけなら猿にもできるんでね。この際だ、しっかり学びなよ大将。
どうすればいいんだ。俺たち数千人分わからん、壊れてやがる。武田の誉れ。
静かに癒すこと林のごとく。大将、俺様が時間稼ぐ間に気合い入れ直してよ。あんまり情けないと親方様と大将にどやされるぜ。
忍びってやつは言い方もばっかっしょ。けどあんたは嫌いになれないんだ。
そいつは奇遇だね。俺様もお兄さんみたいなの嫌いじゃないんだわ。
はばかりながら今こそ秦軍の好機と存じますれば。わしが見ておるぞ。さっけー。
はいはいと。
大地ないかサスケ。
声がでかすぎだって大将、恥ずかしいってな。仕事、本日はここまで。あとは任せたぜ大将。
よし来たサスケ。この雪村任された。
守備は我らにお任せあれ。定めの壁は破れては我が軍の壁は破らせぬわ。
石田軍が切り込み隊長志願昨今。いざ勝負。見たか。
Yeah, why did they never bring this game over?
武田が心得人。
Why they never bring this game over? Stupid company. Such a good game, man. Just let more people play it. How hard is it?
ではこうがその炎は何のために燃やすものか。
何のため。それがしは一人にあらず無数の炎と共にある。
I'm glad they've been preserving the Mega Man games, but this needs it a bit more. Capcom remasters are pretty good though, so I'll give them that. They just don't remaster stuff they need to, like this and God Hand mostly. I can't even understand why this game is not on Switch. It would have sold so many copies. Free money. Sometimes I think Capcom hates money. I don't know why he's invisible. That's weird. Jank City. I'll have to look up the guide. I must have messed up something when I was patching it. I made a mistake somewhere. It's all good. I'm mostly just trying to compile shaders right now. I'm not really trying to do sweaty gameplay at the moment. Can't do sweaty gameplay when it's compiling shaders anyway. Gotta run through a bunch of the levels I normally do and all the characters to compile the shaders before I can start really playing again. Alright, well. I need to fix that Yukimura problem. Yeah, I definitely don't feel like doing that at 1:30 in the morning. Way too late to be doing that. Molding over emulators is not an option this late. It's probably something simple that I missed, but I'm not gonna bother finding that right now. I'll see you guys later. I will be back for, well, no promises, but I should be back for the River City Girls 2 Double Dragon DLC. That should be sometime today. I am broke right now, so I'm not going to be getting it unless they give me the key. And I don't know what my work with my neighbors is going to be like today, so that game streams fine on Steam Deck, especially since I won't be using mods anymore. So I'll definitely be over there for sure. And then tomorrow is the Gundam Breaker 4. The last 2 batches of DLC are releasing tomorrow. So that's got Gundam Maxter and Gundam Spiegel. So they got the entire Shuffle Alliance in there, which is pretty awesome because I'm not really a Gundam fan, but that's like the only Gundam I really liked. And like Maxter is so cool with like boxing and then the dual pistols and stuff. It's gonna be, I hope they do him justice, because like that game has a lot of recycled moves, so I hope that it's gonna be they're not gonna give him a bunch of recycled cloned moves. Yeah, we'll be checking that out on Wednesday. Past that, I still need to finish River City Saga 3 Kingdoms next. So I should be back hopefully in the afternoon, but I don't want to make any promises. I don't know if I really feel like doing a directionless stream again, because that's what this stream was. Kind of just played some PGR and some God Hand and chilled out, because I've been setting up the PS3 emulator. I've been getting stuff off my Steam Deck, and that took like a vast majority of the night. I wanted to do a longer stream tonight, but I'm working on setting stuff up. So I'll see you guys later. You can go ahead and go on my Discord if you want to know what I'm up to. I'll post updates in there. I'll see you guys later, everybody. There's the link. Good night.